Welcome back, guys. James
Hey.
Hill, founder and CEO of Black Millionaires.
And this is the Chaplain of the Culture, Yale M. Div, here to expand ideas and grind your gears.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I love when you guys send us stories that you want us to react to and you want us to talk about because it just makes our job easier and it makes our research team easier to, just send us stories. So this was a story that I was not familiar with this actor.
Mm-hmm.
But once I really looked into it, I was familiar. It's crazy because I was familiar with the show.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like supporting on the show.
Yes,
He wasn't like the show. So actor Melvin Gregg from Snowfall admits he was only paid $5,000 per episode for his role as Manboy.
Right.
Now people hear 5,000 and say 5,000 a show. Okay, that's great, right?
Mhm.
But then when you break it down, he started talking about taxes. He started talking about his agent fees,
Yeah.
lawyer fees. He
Yeah.
only took home about $2,200 per episode. And a lot of times when you filming these episodes, you're working a long time. It's not like a
Yes.
one day thing when you are like people looking at it as like $2,200 in one day.
Right.
Of course, that's good money.
But his one day could be an 18-hour day on set.
For 3 weeks.
Yes.
Right.
So, and then that's per episode. So it's like,
Correct.
did it take 1 day to make this episode? Did it take 2 days to make
No,
this
they might have
episode?
to shoot 3 episodes and cut it down to get one good episode.
So I think that, I love transparency
Yeah.
in the industry, especially because we see all the glitz and glamour and we don't
Yes.
necessarily know about like the financials that go on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I wonder, what he's probably at this time his first big role.
Yep.
Snowfall had a huge budget.
Yep.
So who knows what his lawyer's fees were, or
Yeah.
if he had somebody, a PR team, or somebody say, "Hey, if you want to at least bring home 5,000, maybe we should try to negotiate you up to 8."
Yeah. And then it's not necessarily about going even from 5 to 8, right? It's really about him trying to take an opportunity to increase his value.
Yeah.
So he can go from 5,000 to 50 or 100 or 250, right? Because we hear this every time a successful movie or series comes. Because what's the guy from Power? He was complaining about getting 100,000 per episode. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
at some point dudes are going to complain, and 100,000 and 5,000, there's a big delta in between.
Obviously.
But then when you start looking at what these real stars are getting, they might be getting $1 million, $2 million per episode.
Right.
Like the people on Friends, they got
$1 million per episode.
They was getting $1 million per episode.
Yeah, by the time the season closed, yeah.
So this is another thing people don't realize is the reason a lot of our favorite shows end after 3 to 4 seasons is because when it's time to renegotiate
the contracts,
and these people, like, he would demand 50,000, 100,000, even though the show is commercially successful. Now it wouldn't be financially successful because you got to pay all the staff, everybody. We know it's a hit show.
Yeah.
It's winning awards and shit.
Right.
That's why they ended. That's why
So a lot of shows ended that way when people wanted to renegotiate contracts and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that there has to be a way to. Here's the thing. It's a catch-22 because you want to increase your value. You want this on your
that opportunity.
Yes, you want that opportunity.
You want it on your resume.
You want it on your resume, but you also need to eat. So it's like, how do you go through whatever workload you go through, and then what you got to go be a waiter at?
It's the promise.
You
it's
on TV and somebody's
promise.
like, "Oh my gosh, aren't you man boy?" And you at Applebee's, you know.
But that's why the rich get richer, because a lot of the times these actors, and you be like, "Oh my God, he's such a great actor. He's been in 7 shows, and then he finally got his hit role."
Yeah,
they probably be a nepo baby.
That's true.
You know, and they and then nothing is wrong with that. But I'm just saying, like, that's what happened.
They had some cushion.
And I was just thinking about this. I was talking to a friend who was applying to grad school, and she had a 3.2, and she was like, "Oh my God, my 3.2 ain't nothing compared to these other people." And I'm like, yeah, but you come from poverty and you had 3 jobs.
Right.
Like, and I had 3 jobs working in college, and I had a 3.1, and I'm like, that's my 4.0. That is a 4.0 from where I come from, because I had 3 jobs. Those other people that had 4.0s, they didn't have to work. And a lot of
Right.
times, like you said, you can afford to take these jobs and you
I
don't
was
really
gonna
care about what
say,
you're getting paid. You care more about the opportunity. But what we were just saying about Taraji and Tiana Taylor winning
yeah, the
Golden
Golden
Globe,
Globe.
they always dangle that next opportunity in your
They
face,
do.
and then there's never a next opportunity. And then also on these shows, they get you to sign. I was watching Living. Is it Living Single? You know, they got
Living.
that podcast now.
See.
Uh,
Oh yes, yes, yes,
so I be
yes.
watching
With
that.
mhm.
Yes, with the cast or whatever. I be
Mhm.
watching that, and they was giving some games. So the young lady
Oh
on there was saying,
really?
she was saying, when you get selected for these shows or these roles, they'll they'll do like a 3 movie deal, or they'll do like a 3 season deal. So
Yes.
by the time it's time for you to
Did
get paid,
yeah.
that's why they cancel after 3 seasons,
Mm.
because
They
they ain't
said
gotta
that
pay nobody
they
no
said
more.
that's what happened with the Different World. After like the cast on
Mm-hmm.
a Different World started being like wanting to renegotiate the contract, they
Yep.
was like, all right, season 6 is in.
Yep.
They still had the ratings.
Yep, they still got the ratings, and now they still own the IP, and they can just sell it to Disney Plus, sell it to
Mhm.
Amazon
Mhm.
Prime, sell it to Paramount, sell it to Netflix
Yep.
every 2 to 3 years, and they still making that money. And a lot of those actors never get their residuals
No.
off the sale on these streaming services, because when they did the or when they did the deals, streaming was never even in their contract,
Yeah.
so they are not owed rights. They're not owed money
Yeah,
for the streaming
got
contracts.
you. So those contract and it's tough. And like I said, everybody just wants to have that role.
Yeah,
Everybody just wants to have that opportunity.
the
What's his name?
promise.
Melvin Gregg.
Yeah, the
Here's the
promise.
here's the thing. Damson Idris was the star of that, right?
Exactly.
So he was gonna automatically get all of the glitz and the glamour that came
Hmm.
with that. But you know, you never know. There could be another supporting role. Like everybody from Friday did really well, even though
Yeah.
apparently Ice Cube only paid everybody about $5,000 cash.
Well, but to be honest, even on the Ice Cube situation, that was a very low budget movie that
It was that
happened to
just went.
become
I mean,
a
it took
classic,
off.
and in black neighborhoods or in black households and even other races. It crossed over, right?
Yeah,
Because you had
it
the
was
Chris
hilarious.
Tuckers,
It
you
was
had
yeah.
it made stars. But think about it, like we're creatives. Right now, if somebody call you and say, "Hey, I want to do this film. I ain't really got no budget like that, but I'll give you 5 grand." You might be like, "That's a good 5 grand
Yeah,
right now." You
yeah.
know what I'm
Why would
saying?
I not take that?
And what's the dude name from and whoop that trick, get him? What's the actor?
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. That movie was an independent film.
Oh, was it?
He did that for twelve
That's
thousand
so funny.
dollars.
I could see it.
They turned around and sold it for like 1.2 or 1.5 million dollars
Really?
to a studio, and then the studio made it a huge success, and they made tens of millions and hundreds of millions. And then also, he didn't sign in his contract for the song and the music that he that
Yes, there was a song in there that
the
got a
song
Grammy.
the song he didn't get none of that money either, because the song, it didn't say Terrence Howard, it said the actor, and they own the IP of the actor.
Actor.
So you got to
Wow.
learn
Okay,
how to read these
yeah.
contracts, man.
And what they mean.
This is why these lawyers are important, because a
Mhm.
lot of y'all will get ripped off because you don't understand the language.
That's so funny.
One line in a contract can screw your whole fucking life over, because it might say in perpetuity. You don't know what the fuck perpetuity means.
Right.
That means forever. As long as you're acting, we own this name. You don't think to go trademark Smokey when you are the
Yeah.
character Smokey in this.
Yeah.
So now they go make merch.
Yeah, with Smokey, you got your face, your image, your likeness. Yeah.
You can't do nothing about it. So I mean, you just got to take your L's on the chin, man, in this media business and entertainment business. But you got to learn how to own something.
Yes.
You know,
Would you say he took an L?
I wouldn't say he took an L, because now he has a story to tell. I mean, he's on the podcast, literally getting
I was
interviewed
gonna say
about
maybe
this.
he got paid for this. You
And
never
to be
know.
honest, this is what I hate. I hate when actors do this.
What?
Actors really should. If I was an actor, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't go on and talk about how much money, even though it fucks up the community,
I
because
was about to
not
say.
other people. It educates the next community, the next
Yeah.
audience. But what it does is it tells directors what you're willing to settle for. So
Mm.
like Taraji, she go on there crying, talking about she only got paid 500, or no, she only got paid 150 grand. Now every next movie they only gonna give you just a little bit more.
I was
You
about
did
to
it for,
say
like Tyler Perry did.
175.
All them Tyler Perry movies, Tyler Perry paid her 500 grand, and she celebrated that.
Yeah.
She's worth more than 500 grand. But
Mm.
because she complained about
Yes.
the 150,
Yes.
Tyler Perry come with 500. She like, hell yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I see Taraji, it makes me think like we need to have more like communication even within whatever industry we're in. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, they didn't do Denzel Washington like that. They
But they
didn't even
tried though. I
they
mean,
tried him.
Denzel
Yeah.
said his first movie, they tried to pay it was gonna be his breakout movie. He wasn't gonna get paid a lot, but it was a lot to him at that time.
Mhm.
And they tried to make him a slave or something. He said he turned that down, and then a year later he got like his breakout movie that made Denzel. But he like good actors get these opportunities all the time, and it's kind of like what you break and what you know if you
Yeah.
fold,
Yeah.
but you can still parlay that into a great career. Look like Chadwick Big Boseman.
Bozeman.
He
Mhm.
had a few different films that was like, I know he ain't get paid. I know he ain't make that much money. But when he did the Black Panther,
Yeah.
that's when everything was like, oh my
Opened up.
God.
Yeah,
But
everything
then when
opened
he
up.
died, his estate was only worth $3 million, and people was confused. I'm like, well,
He
he
had just
he had
kind of
just hit. He
yeah.
didn't get his. He was gonna make his next 10, 20 million after
He
that.
was. He was. He was.
So, that happens a lot in the entertainment industry.